I try, oh no, why? This feeling inside me says it's time I was gone. Clear head, new life ahead. It's time I was king and not just one more pawn. Fly by night away from here, change my life again. Fly by night, goodbye my dear. My ship isn't coming and I just can't pretend. Moonrise, thoughtful eyes staring back at me from the window beside. No fright or hindsight, leaving behind that empty feeling inside. Fly by night away from here, change my life again. Fly by night, goodbye my dear. My ship isn't coming and I just can't pretend. Start a new chapter, I'll find what I'm after. It's changing every day. Change of the seasons, enough of a reason to want to get away. Quiet and pensive, my thoughts apprehensive, the hours drift away. Leaving my homeland, playing a lone hand, my life begins today. Fly by night away from here, change my life again. Fly by night, goodbye my dear. My ship isn't coming and I just can't pretend. My ship isn't coming and I just can't pretend. My ship isn't coming and I just can't pretend. Oh, what? Ladies and gentlemen, on the guitar, Michael Lyons. Thanks. Thank you, Jim. I forgot to turn on the microphone. I guess what I was saying was, bonjour, Jessica. Good morning. Thank you for the applause. Jim, thank you for looking out for this show. Shady Side says, I can't read your puppet lips. Good morning, Shady Side. How you doing? I was trying to be all fancy there and play a video and to start the show. Anyway, so yeah, Mino Giga Jeb. Welcome back to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. And that brings up an interesting the gibberish cartoon of the day. Boom. Mino Giga Jeb. This is a cartoon by Michael, and it's in his book Gibberish. And it's a little squirrel walking. You can see the sun is coming up just bright. He says, Mino Giga Jeb. Mino means good, or like, kind of good. And Giga Jeb is morning, so good morning. Starting just bright and early on a Anima E Gija Good on a prayer day. Should we say a prayer to get things started? Just a simple prayer today. I don't have any tobacco or Where's my sage? Should smudge down, huh? I'm just going to say, get your manado. Miigwech ka iji ka kinan keku, ka ija chikean nungom. Thank you for everything that you do today. Miigwech ka iji way buck, even though it's 22 below. I said thank you for the weather, even though it's 22 below. Miigwech ka iji gijaguk. Thank you for this day. And Dush Miigwech ka iji bimadaziyan. Thank you for my life. And then, Miigwech bezendawiyeg. Thank you for listening. Ape inge. Amen. 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 Everybody now. So there. There you go. So yeah, Anima E Gija Good. Sunday is our prayer day. And every day is actually our prayer day. You really shouldn't wait until just once a week to pray. But how you guys doing? Up just early on a Sunday. I used to hate Sundays when I was a kid. I didn't really care for church that much. I remember I came up with this really good plan when I was, 7 or 8. That if I faked having a sickness on Sundays, I could skip church. So Sunday morning would roll around and be like, oh, Mom, my tummy hurts. I have a sore tummy. And she's like, oh, really? That's weird. Last week you had a sore tummy too, right, on Sunday morning. Okay, well, go lie down. We're going to church. And then I get to stay home and put on some Elvis Presley records. Just dance around, while the whole family was at work, at church. But then the day came where Mom was finally like, you know what, we should take you to the hospital. You're sick every Sunday. She took me up to the old Indian Health Service. And the doctor says, yeah, okay, well, take off your clothes. I'm going to examine you. I was like, what? I beg your pardon? And then you're stuck. You're like, okay, what do I do? I can either come clean. Okay, listen, doc, I'm not really sick. Don't look at my wiener. I just said that to get out of church. But I couldn't do that, so stripped down. Well, it's just humiliating. Doctor pokes at you, listens to your heart. And then he gives you a box. He didn't give it to me, he gave it to my mom. He goes, okay, Mrs., I want you, you're going to need to go number 2 in this box. And then bring it back. And we'll send it to the lab. And then we can find out for sure what is wrong with this young boy who gets the weekly sore tummy right at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he had to go home and poop in a box and bring it back. It's like, okay, here. I'm like, jeez. That's when I learned there's a lot. You start a lie, and then you got to keep it up. It just gets more and more complicated. I like to say, what a tangled web we weave when first we try to deceive. I made that up. Don't pretend you got a sore tummy just to get out of church. You will rue the day. You will come to regret it. So, yeah. Then it turns out I was healthy after that. I learned to. I was miraculously cured. I guess Kichimanadu cured me so I could go to a boring church. Jim says, yeah, turn and cough. Hikes. the things you didn't know you're going to have to experience just lying to get out of church. But yeah, I don't know. I suspect church is no, I've been to church. It's not any more entertaining. I mean, sorry to the ladies at the Baptist Church in LaPorte. I know you were very dedicated every Sunday. what was it, old Fern and Julia, get up there on the piano and the organ, playing their songs, trying to make church, not so bad. And you get up there and sing the hymns. Onward Christians are marching as to war. And you're like, I don't like these songs. Grandma, how come we got to go to church? I don't even like the songs. They never play Elvis Presley songs. But you go to church anyway. Sit and wait on the old hard pew. You know why they call it a pew? Because when you fart, when you boog it. Today's Ojibwe word, boog it. When you boog it, it just stinks it up. And people go, oh, pew. Why are we sitting in this room? Actually, today's Ojibwe word of the day, goyakwa, dizzy win. Goyakwa, dizzy win is the Ojibwe word for honesty. You should be honest. See, that ties in with my story. I think the Buddhists would call it karma. But if you're not honest, you're going to pay for it. And you may not even have to wait. They're always telling the kids, oh, you better not lie. That's a sin. Because if you lie, you go to hell. It's like, yeah, I'll worry about that when I get there. Right now, I can't bear the idea of going to church again. Because when you're a little guy, that 1 hour feels like 8 hours. It's like, oh, come on, we're just going to go to Sunday school, go to church. And then you can come home, you can get out of your church clothes, you can put on your old raggedy, cut off shorts in your baseball jersey, and you can go play. You have the whole rest of the day. But when you're 6 or 7 or 8, you're like, 1 hour? Ugh. I don't even know if I'll remember how to play basketball after church. It'll be so long. So Jessica writes, that's a hilarious story. As soon as I mentioned the doctor to my daughter, she's like, never mind. Yeah, you got to call the bluff. I know she's really not feeling good, or if she's okay with going. Yeah. Shady Side says, I pretended I wasn't afraid of heights when I tried to get a job as a firefighter. That was stupid. Yeah, you can't be dishonest about your deep-held fears. How do you feel about heights? Oh, I'm fine. Yep, love them. It's like, okay, why don't you climb up in that tree? When I said that I loved heights, I may not have been entirely goyakwa diziwen. Maybe I told a little fib. It's tough to be honest, though. People will press your ability to stay honest. Some people are like, do these pants make me look fat? And you want to be honest. Yes. But it's not the pants, actually. It's your legs that make you look fat. But you can't be honest. Nobody wants you to be honest. They want you to be nice. But you gotta be honest. Moonrise, thoughtful lies. That's what they are. Thoughtful lies. Although in that song, I think he's singing thoughtful eyes. He's seeing his reflection in the window. Moonrise, thoughtful eyes, staring back at me from the window beside. La la, la dee da. Yeah. Trying to be honest. And I mentioned it before, but Sabbe is one of is the animal that represents the sacred grandfather teaching. Honesty is one of the 7 Anishinaabe values, and it's represented by Sabbe, Bigfoot. People lie about stuff all the time. They lie to get themselves out of trouble. They lie to spare people's feelings. But I don't think people lie. I think the government lies all the time. But I don't think there's as many people just making up stupid stories that would make them look crazy. Like people always say, people who say they saw Bigfoot, it's probably a hoax. That guy probably went out there and just made up a story and lied about it so people would, think he lost his mind. That's why I tend to believe most people's Bigfoot stories, because they know what it makes them look like. There are two types of people. There are people who don't want to hear it. I was talking to a friend of mine about this. What would your reaction be if your uncle came up to you and your uncle says, "I can't believe it. Last night I got abducted by aliens." Some of us would be like, "What? Really? Let me hear about it." And you wouldn't necessarily just believe him. You wouldn't necessarily go, "Well, there you go. There's my proof that aliens exist and they've come here from outer space and they abducted my uncle," because he would not lie. He's honest. But you would want to hear more about it, because your mind's open. Maybe this will prove something, or you're gonna want to know. You just want to know. Maybe he had a psychotic break. Maybe he's on drugs. Who knows? But then there's the other ones who go, "Listen, man, don't talk about that. Don't tell anybody else. Everyone will say you're crazy. I don't want to hear it." And I'm interested, like, what's up with those people? Who are the people? They don't even want to hear you say anything that's off the script. Some people are just, don't mention that. What do you mean you don't believe? This goes back to the old creation story. If you tell somebody you don't believe in evolution, they'll be like, "Listen, man, you gotta keep that to yourself. Never mind. We shouldn't talk about this." Like, what? Why can't I just muse? I might change my mind someday. I mean, I kind of doubt it now, but I've changed my mind on almost everything. So who cares? I'm just trying to be honest. So, yeah. So, Shady Side, how long were you a firefighter? That was the only noble job I ever thought about having. Growing up is like, "Oh, should I be a rock star?" But for like a week, in between thinking I was either going to be a rock star or an artist, I thought maybe I should be a fireman. You could slide down that pole, you get to hang out with your buddies, and then you go and save lives, go fight fires. I'm going to be a firefighter. But didn't get very far with that dream. I think shortly after that I thought about being a stuntman. Not that I'm even like that kind of person who jumps his bike or likes thrills or anything. But for a short time, I think I saw a movie. I went, "Hey man, stuntman, you can go be in a movie. You can be the guy who, jumps your motorcycle over cars." I'll be a stuntman. Shady Side says, "I failed the fire department eye exam and then I became a copper." Oh, she's a copper. Shady Side became a part of the law. So your eyesight wasn't good enough to be a fireman, but it's good enough to be a cop? Aren't you afraid you're going to shoot the wrong person? I mean, if you're a nearsighted fire person, the worst that can happen is that someone else is going to get wet. Like, "Hey man, quit spraying me. The fire's over there." But if you're a cop with bad eyesight, you're just shooting wildly. "Stop in the name of the law." It's like, "Oh, over here. Oh, stop in the name of the law." Yep, that's what she says. Yep. Yeah, the standards aren't quite as high to be an officer of the law as to put out a fire. Hikes. I, for one, I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes the cops don't make it easy to support them. Sometimes they do look like just a bunch of bullies. I get it. I was watching a video of the cops in Australia the other day, and there was a guy walking around without a mask, and these two cops just went up and just started harassing him. And the dude was just like not answering questions, not playing along. He wasn't breaking any law, but they wanted his name. They would blah, blah, blah. And he was like, "You can call me daddy." And the cops are getting just mad. And so, yeah, sometimes, I've met a couple of cops. One in particular was just the biggest redneck I ever met. Obviously doing steroids. I won't even say his name, because he's well known enough around here that people know who I'm talking about. But he scares me. He's a corrupt, scary cop. Well, outside of that, I really support the cops. When people talk about Black Lives Matter, the only people who are actually addressing the real issues inside black communities, fighting the gangs, saving people's lives, are the police. You go, the cops are the ones who are helping black people more than anybody. Indians too, for that matter. It's a scary job. It's a thankless job. You got politicians now going out against you. The burden of proof is on the cop to prove they weren't, just hunting people. It's like, the cops, would you guys quit watching all these movies? These are human beings whose job it is to, they're peace officers. But Jessica says, they're not racist, they're just nearsighted. Yeah. You can't be that racist if you can't even see. Shady Side said, I officially retired in 2019 after getting hired in 1986. Wow, you were on there for a long time. Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. I really appreciate it. I don't know. I got a cousin who's on the force here in Bemidji. And he pulled me over. I got pulled over on Thanksgiving. Cop pulls me over. And he came over to the passenger side for some reason. And I got an old pickup. I got to reach way over there just to roll down the window. And he goes, hey, man. Kind of rolled through that stop sign. And then another cop pulls up. And cop leaves and he comes back. And he goes, yeah, here you go. Don't worry about it. And I go, what are you talking about? Turn, look. There's old Chad. In his police uniform. He goes, hey, cuz, what's going on? Because I heard on the dispatch or whatever that Michael Lyons, NanaBOOZHOO. See, I ruined the story. Got pulled over. I'm like, oh, you're not giving him a ticket? That's my cousin. I was like, oh, I guess I'm above the law. Anyway. And boy, I tell you, I was really glad I wasn't a drinker that night. Thanksgiving normally would have been could have been drunk by 10 o'clock at night on Thanksgiving. But nope. If anything, I was wired on coffee. Shady side ice. Ice. Yeah, they make it look like ICE agents. I feel sorry for those guys too. They're given a job. Look, man, people are sneaking into the country. You gotta arrest them. And then the actual politicians come out and goes, oh, no, we're gonna close down the ICE department. And cops are just like, would you make up your mind? We don't make up the laws. Nobody voted us to enforce the border. I mean, yeah, we have to enforce it, but quit throwing stuff at us. We're just cops trying to solve crimes. Shady Side Ice says, I iced myself. She iced herself. Yeah. Hey, sweetie. Yeah, what is it, honey? We got a call. We got another call. You guys, we're not a call-in show. I don't know how you guys get these numbers. All right, what line? It's on line 2. Line 2, okay. You're on the air, caller. Hello. This is President Barack Obama. Yeah. How you doing, former President Barack Obama? Barack Hussein Obama. That's a really unfortunate name when you think about it. I know. I don't know why. My father decided to name me after Saddam Hussein. Yeah, you're going to need to speed up your talking, Mr. Vice President. Mr. Former President, whatever. But yeah, it's I think you're too old to be named after Saddam Hussein. That probably was just a weird coincidence. Yes, I think it might have been. Yep. So what can I do for you today, Barack Obama? I was wondering if I could say the Ojibwe word, of the day. We already have an Ojibwe word of the day, Mr. Former President. It's Gwayakwa Dizzy Win. Honesty. Okay. Well then, I guess I'll say Gigawabamin Min Minawa. Okay, yeah, Gigawabamin Minawa, Barack. Okay. I got to get out of this conversation. Barack Obama, honey. Yeah, I can't believe he got our number. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We get a lot of former presidents call into the show. They like the, I guess he's learning Ojibwe now, huh? Yeah, he said Gigawabamin Minawa, just like a fluent speaker. Yeah. Well, he's a pretty smart guy, I'm told. That old Michelle is kind of suspicious, if you ask me. What do you mean? I don't know. I don't like her. You don't like Michelle Obama? No, I don't. I don't trust her. I don't want to, again, this is the other thing. There's like 3 main things you can't talk about on YouTube. I mean, you can be critical of politicians for sure. But you're not supposed to talk about certain events that happened in 2001 and with like 19 young men going on a joyride. You can't talk about that without getting taken down. And you can't talk about certain extracurricular activities at a certain school. And I forget what date. But that's another one that'll get you taken down. I think it got Alex Jones taken down. And he wasn't really taken down, but he got in trouble. And the other thing you can't talk about are, let's say, gentlemen and ladies' clothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm a huge David Bowie fan. He was the first one to be dressing up and putting on makeup. I kind of think it's pretty cool when rock bands puts on some makeup, and there's nothing wrong. Go ahead, do what you like, gentlemen. But I suspect that old Michelle. I don't want to say it. All I'm saying is, she's like a head taller than Barack Obama. And she weighs, she's not fat at all, but you can tell she weighs like 200 pounds. I saw a picture of Michelle and Muhammad Ali from the back, and they had the same shoulders. I was like, okay. I mean, it's one thing just to have big shoulders for a lady. But, I don't know, Michelle, I mean, it looked just like, of all people, Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time. I think. The only boxer I really know anything about. I don't know. That's who Barack should have been named after. Muhammad Ali. Oh. If I ever have a little boy, I'm going to name him Muhammad Ali. Just to make the people kind of question, what? Is that because you love Islam or because you love boxing? Like, no. Just want to keep you on your toes. So, yeah, Michelle Obama. She sure did a lot to help the country. She was kind of the school lunch lady, wasn't she? Yeah, I think so. She wanted to have healthy lunches for the kids. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. Shady Side says, Minowa? Minowa? Is that a Minowa from Washington? Minnow. Yeah. Minowa? Minnow from Washington, WA. Is a Minowa. Brandy Marie's cracking up. Line 2 is ringing. Yeah, it's always line 2. I don't know why line 1 never gets... Do we keep line 1 open for really good calls? Yeah, line 1 is our personal line. Line 2 is for the celebrities. Oh, okay. Jessica says, my mom did some modeling with Muhammad Ali back in her day. No kidding. Wow. She was in his dressing room and everything. Modeling. Your mom must be really beautiful. I mean, yeah, okay. All models are kind of good looking, but if she was chosen to be with Muhammad Ali, she must have been like a world-class model. Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I love Muhammad Ali, and I don't even care about boxing. You know, I don't know if I've ever actually seen Muhammad Ali box. I just remember him being just a character from my childhood. You know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Muhammad Ali. You know, he was like the first Mr. T. I pity the fool doesn't stay in school. You know. We should get Mr. T to call in sometime. How old am I? All my references are from the 80s. Oh yeah, Muhammad Ali. A lot of the young kids care about Muhammad Ali and Mr. T still. Because we're happening. We're a hip young person's show. I really think BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO speaks to the youth of this generation. Daniel Black is here, sweetie. He says, Mino Giga Jabe. Mino Giga Jabe, Daniel. Natasha says, good morning, sir. Nice to have Daniel back. Shady Side says, I knew Mrs. Obama couldn't be trusted when she suggested children should play hockey, but she wouldn't do what she suggested. Yeah, I can't imagine Michelle's a very good hockey player. I don't know why. I can't picture her on the ice. I picture her boxing Muhammad Ali is what I picture. I remember when, what was his name? Was that one comedian? Bill Burr. He was talking about being sick of Michelle Obama. And he goes, it's kind of like, you hire a plumber. He goes, he was just sick of first ladies just chiming in. He goes, it's like if you hired a plumber and he kind of came over and he was like, well, yeah, I think you're going to need to fix the pipes. You can see it's dripping from the upstairs, blah, blah, blah. And then the wife, who isn't a plumber, chimes in. She goes, oh, you know what I think? And you go, look, we elected your husband. We didn't elect you. I don't care what you think. That's what I liked about, you barely knew her name, Trump's wife, Melania. This chick was a real model, by the way. And, none of the clothing stores ever talked about that. She spoke like 5 or 6 languages, real international model, had her own money, And she never didn't come on lecturing us about what we should eat, Michelle had the whole country believing they were gluten intolerant. Oh no! I'm allergic to this thing I didn't know existed until Michelle Obama came and scared me. So yeah, it's 22 below here today. And it feels like 42 below or something. Or maybe it's 10 below and it feels like 22 below. I think the high is 10 below. And you can tell. It's like the house cools off instantly. That old heater, you're going to hear the fan kick on and off throughout this show. Pickup won't start. I don't think I even flooded it because all the fluids are just frozen. Normally, if I start the pickup up first thing every morning, it'll start no matter what. But yesterday, I didn't try until like 6 in the evening, and by then it was too late. Now we got no pickup, sweetie. We're gonna have to walk to Walmart. I'm not walking to Walmart. Forget it. It's too cold. Yeah. I don't know. So, hey, Brenda Marie's here. Oh, that's crazy. Too dang cold. Yeah, it is. So, guess who sent us an early Valentine's present? I know, I saw that. Yeah. I'm kind of hanging on. We're going to do a Valentine's show. Well, Brandy, miigwech for your package yesterday. Really appreciate it. And happy Valentine's Day right back at you. I got plans for one of those guys. Yeah, I know. I know. It's like you can read my mind sometimes. It's so weird. We're so connected. Yeah, it's crazy cold up here. And it's going to be for a few days, they say. We walked down to Country Kitchen yesterday and just about froze my face off. Because I won't wear that mask. Oh, by the way, you guys, I went into a store without a mask the other day after our conversation. And you think I was homecoming king. Everyone's smiling at me, being just nice. Hey, how you doing? Like, it's like people went out of their way to show that they didn't care that I wasn't wearing a mask. And I was like, I thought everyone would be mad at me. I was getting little head nods. Lady at the counter was just nice, joking around. Didn't even ask me about the mask. I'm like, what was I afraid of? They get you thinking that they're gonna, like the cops are gonna come or something. This isn't Australia. Shady Side says, the guitar pick always can start something when you pick it up. Do you hear that, honey? The guitar pick always can start something. If you stop me up. Sad but true says, they probably thought you had a severe medical condition and were being nice. Yeah, that's what it was. So go look at that guy. He must be one of the rare exemptions who needs to breathe. Did he get the exemption because he's got a traumatic experience of being bound and gagged as a child? You can get exemptions for like mental health reasons. So, no, I get traumatized. It's never going away. That's the other thing. I mean, it'll go away immediately as soon as you decide, nope, I don't play that game anymore. It doesn't make any sense. But there's never going to come a time again where the governor comes out and says, all right, I mandate everyone takes off their masks and act like normal human beings again. The mandate. I mandate Governor Waltz. What kind of name is that? I'm Governor Foxtrot. Governor Waltz. Making mandates. I mandate you close down your churches. Why? Why should we listen to you, fat, empty suit politician? Do you have medical training? Do you understand something the rest of us don't? I mandate that every business that isn't a huge retailer like Walmart close. And, but we'll keep the liquor stores open. I mandate. It's like, I didn't even know who Governor Waltz was, I'll be honest with you, until the mandate. I went, what's our governor's name? I could care less. I know it's your life work. But I don't I don't appreciate his show of power. As the leader of your state, it's like, shut up. Hey man, I'm a sovereign nation. I have sovereignty. I have freedom. Sad but true. Our prime minister said we should not talk moistly at each other. Yeah. You know. These so-called leaders. It's making me crabby just thinking about it. Jessica says, what is talking moistly? Ew, never talk moistly. Yeah. You know. And that's where it comes down to your science again. I'm going to wear this mask. Oh, does it stop virus or germs? No. Oh, okay. And I will social distance 6 feet. Oh, why is that? They say a sneeze can go 30 feet. What's 6? Why 6? I don't know. But I mandate you must follow my decree. You know. Just such a... Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with politicians. I'm done with, so-called journalists. I'm done with people on the news, the talking heads. I'm done with people who think that they're special. What do you think, sweetie? Oh no, I'm totally into it. I love politicians. You do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be governor someday. Yeah, right. What? You don't think a girl can be a leader? Oh no, I do. I think. Hey, if you ran, you'd have my vote. That's for sure. Maybe you could take over from Winona. What's her name? LaDuke, because she's a Native American leader. Winona LaDuke is? Yeah. Every time you hear a story on the news, they'll be like, Native American leader Winona LaDuke. And they're going, what? Number one, races don't have leaders. You know, you would never say European leader, Norwegian American leader, you know. But if you're a Native American and you get any attention from the media, you suddenly become a spokesman for the entire race. And, you know, like every tribe too. Excuse me, Winona, what should we do about mascots? Well, Native Americans are tired of it. Wait, hold on. You can't just generalize people based on race. That's called being racist. I'm sorry. Can we back up for a second? The Indian race, just like African Americans, they don't have leaders. There's not a leader who speaks on behalf of all people of color. Oh yeah, look at me. I am Martin Luther King. Nobody can ever make fun of me. I have a dream that one day people will think I was the king of the blacks. Nope. Races don't have leaders. We don't all get together. You know. I heard this black guy say this, and it's true for Indians too. Open letter to white people. You don't have to, when you meet me, you don't have to mention other black people you know. It's the same thing with Indian people. When you find out that I'm a Native American, you do not have to ask me if I know Tony Troyer. Yes, I do. But that's not the point. You ever notice that? White people be like, oh yeah, do you know so-and-so? Well, yeah, but why would you ask that? I don't immediately go, oh, really? Do you know Kevin Costner? Oh, really? You're German, huh? Do you know Hitler? Wasn't he your leader? I am the leader of the Germans. Nope. Politicians can be the leaders of their own political party, but they're not even the leaders of people. You know? How can you be a leader of a group of people that didn't even vote for you? Who aren't following you or actually opposing you? Leaders. Brandy Marie says, me too. So done with that noise. Yeah. Never had it. That's the Great Awakening. You know, when they talk about the people are waking up, it's just going, okay, I'm done with politicians. news people, movie stars, rock stars. You know, I don't care if Kathy Griffith takes a picture of holding Joe Biden's head up, a bloody Joe Biden head. You know, come on, Kathy, where's your picture? Let's hear what the old washed up comedian thinks about politics. We didn't care then, don't care now. And so, yeah, the great awakening is that everyone just gets sick of celebrities all at the same time. They're like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, what do you think we should do about global warming? Didn't your boat hit an iceberg? It's like, no, that was just a movie. Leonardo didn't die in the Titanic. He's just an actor. He was just sitting on a green screen. He's fine. But nope, you get Leonardo DiCaprio coming on your screen. You guys, you got to quit polluting the environment. We're going to have global warming. You know? If you guys don't change your ways, someday it's only going to be 9 below zero. You know? Oh no, it might get up to 0 in Minnesota in February. We got to put a stop to that. It's like, why are we listening to you, Leonardo DiCaprio? Nobody understood that movie about dreaming, Inception. And Titanic is pretty overrated. It's a long movie about some rich girl who cheats on her boyfriend with a guy who, you know, robbed a cruise ship, stealed his way on. No, I guess he won tickets. I don't know what he did. I'm king of the world. Clunk. Oh, look at this. A great big iceberg in the middle of a warm ocean of salt. I'm not going to get into it either, but I think I have a new conspiracy. What's that? Icebergs. You think icebergs are a conspiracy? Well, I never did until I saw a video the other day where they were clearly faking some footage of canoeing around icebergs. They're making a case for global warming or whatever. And there was this guy, and you know, we all know this from Hollywood. You can make anything look like anything. And they're canoeing around an iceberg. And you can tell that the iceberg is fake. And then there's some CGI stuff going on. It looks like they're trying to film, you know, Mars or something. And you go, why would you fake canoeing around an iceberg? You don't have to. Unless, it's like, you know. Can we get some confirmation that icebergs exist? Because I remember now, when I was a little kid, there was a kid in our school whose family were Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this kid was bullied by the teacher for being a Jehovah's Witness. Because Jehovah's Witnesses won't say the Pledge of Allegiance, and they won't recognize Christmas. And they have some ideas that are different than Mrs. Stillwell from the 5th grade believed in. So she was very cruel to this kid. And one time he said in school, and we all mocked him because the teacher mocked him, that he and his dad didn't believe in icebergs. And we go, well, dummy, look in page 14. There's a picture of an iceberg right there. What do you mean your dad doesn't believe in icebergs? And now, 45 years later, I'm looking at that same picture going, wait, is that a fake picture? Why would they fake a picture of an iceberg? Are icebergs real? I think they're real. I don't know. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to have to look into that. Shady Side says, I stopped being a Baptist when a Wisconsin Baptist preacher told his flock that the Titanic movie with Leonardo was good. Yeah. Why would you say that? The preacher said that? Oh, so he pretty much condones the, everything that went on in that. People are brainwashed, man. And just because you're a pastor doesn't mean you can't be brainwashed by movies. I suspect maybe Titanic was some, what'd you guys call that yesterday? Pre-conditioning, pre-programming. You know, just a little, oh, here's a movie about icebergs because they're real. And this thing in history really happened. It went down because it bumped into ice. Why would that even take down a boat? I mean, if you just ran straight into the shore, it wouldn't just it wouldn't break in two. Why would bouncing into an iceberg crack a boat into two? How fast were those guys going? I mean, were they pulling skiers? Is that the story? Is that the other part of the Titanic we never heard? Was that there was actually a ski boat? And so they're going just super fast, like 90 miles an hour. And they just run straight head into an iceberg. The more I think about it, the more I'm starting to think maybe icebergs are a psyop. Because the whole point of the movie was, oh yeah, the iceberg, Antarctica is melting. Look at this. And they'll show like ice mountains breaking up and crumbling down like, like it's 9/11 in the icy mountains. But then if you're from Minnesota, you go, well, that's not how ice melts. It doesn't break up into a million pieces like an earthquake. It slowly moves and turns into water. And on lakes that freeze up, like Lake Superior, there aren't just like floating mountains of ice in the middle of the water like an iceberg. There's a tip, and then it goes way down, but it just floats around. A mountain of ice in water. It would melt. I don't know. So maybe a psyop, that's what they call it. Maybe Titanic was just a psyop to make people believe, number one, in the story of the Titanic. I don't know why they'd make that up, but how does a boat break in two just because bumping into a so-called iceberg? And why aren't icebergs just melting up in the matter of hours? I mean, how cold is the surface of the ocean? And what route were those people taking on the Titanic? So we're going to take a ship here from England by way of the North Pole and then come back around to in July or whenever. So Jessica says, well, have you seen any of those documentaries about how the Titanic was really the Olympia, which had previous damage, but all of these people took insurance out on it? Pretty suspicious. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what all these things are. They're insurance scams. They take out insurance, then they blow up their own boat. They fake a bunch of deaths, and they collect, and it's millions of dollars. And later on, people go, oh, why would they lie? Well, because you could become a millionaire. Because they don't respect Guayacua Dizzy Win. Honesty. Honesty is such a lonely word. Honey, we just ran out of time. It's 6:56 already. I got talking about this and I ran all out of time. We didn't get to talk to the count. I guess I could keep going. You want to come over and say hello to the people? Yeah, I'd love to. All right, before we run out of time, I'm gonna turn the show over to Natasha. She's not so cranky as I am this morning. How come I'm so cranky, sweetie? I don't know. I think you got mad at Governor Waltz. He waltzed all over your good disposition. Yeah, I guess so. Governor Waltz. I don't even know if he's still governor. Was there an election? I didn't vote for you if there was. So, who cares? All right, you guys, thanks for listening. Miigwech Pizendawieg. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hey, dude, you want to carry me over there? Yeah, sure. All right, Gigawabamin, Minowa. Sunny day, Oklahoma. Jeez, I don't know, man. Yeah, I got kind of sidetracked thinking about icebergs. I mean, is there anything that I still believe in that I believed in like 2 years ago? I don't know what's going on. You know, remember when you were younger and you thought Neil deGrasse Tyson was cool? Yeah, I totally thought he was like the cool black genius. And now I just think he's a phony talking head. It's like Elon Musk. Yeah, I know. Alright, well, wish me luck. Good luck, sweetie. Thanks. Oh, you just fell over. Sunny day. BOOZHOO! Now that we're totally out of time, Joe Conspiracy over there. How you guys doing? Just wanted to stop in and say BOOZHOO. Goyak, what does he win? Honesty is such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Brandy Marie, thank you for the Valentine. Those guys are really cute. But yeah, it's really cold today. Listening. And I don't know. I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon. When it warms up a little bit, we can get some of that. What's that stuff? That stuff that heats up your gas? I think they call it heat. Yeah, we'll have to get a bottle of heat. Pour it in the gas. Maybe that'll help the car get started. We can go finally do laundry. Yeah. But it gives us an excuse not to do laundry today because we can't get to the laundromat. Anyway, so yeah, just gonna kick back. Not leaving the crib today. The crib. So yeah, and that's all the time we have for today. Want to say miigwech galawabieg. Thank you for watching. BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. Name Wyndham. Oma Noon Goom. Yeah! This is Natasha. This is Natasha. This is not a BOOZHOO. I am Natasha. And this right here is Michael Lyons. Hello, everyone. And I will see you again. Gigo Abamin. Minoa. Hoa. And live stream. La-di-da. Do, do, do.